Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. Hey, Jeannie, good to see you in the chat bar already. Okay, really weird this morning as I started to go live to do these channel messages. I started getting nervous, and I never get nervous. So I'm like, whoa, what is this? I have no idea at the moment. But yeah, that is really bizarre because I just don't get nervous. So that's really weird. And it's not leaving me. The only thing I can think of is that it would have been about 5 days ago. I was driving and I was getting really empathic, upset about things, and I was like, what's going on here? Why am I getting upset? And then I thought, there's no actual reason to get upset. My life is friggin' all over the show at the moment, but I usually have that, brought into the moment. And I was feeling into it and going, okay, I think I need to put some mirrors up. So I put some mirrors around me and mirrors outside, so that anything that's coming at me will reflect back, and anything that's mine will be mine still. And it just stopped. And I'm like, okay, I think I've up-leveled my empathy into a higher frequency, which has made me more vulnerable when I actually start connecting, because I can feel a lot more than usual. And because I'm sitting here to channel, I open myself up, right? And when I did, and I'm just getting used to this new higher frequency of expanding my awareness further, I think that's what's happening. So I'm just going to have to taper it down a little bit until I get used to these higher frequencies. But of course, these messages need to come through. It's really interesting when you play this game of expanding or bringing through your soul more and expanding yourself out more. And then there's this whole other side of you that's not used to it. And really bizarre. Okay, just had to share that with you guys first before I start, but I am fine. Everything's going to go fine. So I have written out 3 different messages here, and the third one is about the hidden truths unshackled. So I'll go through the first 2 first, and then we'll get on to that third one, which is what the title of this is about. And the reason why I titled that is because I was like, oh, I want to know more about that message. I actually just put it up on Facebook last night, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Or yesterday. So let's get into these channel messages anyway. First of all, they want us to be aware. And they want to, this is one of those ones that does come up in repetitively, but really important at the moment to understand this from a logical sense. When you know your mind, body, and soul, with your mind, body, and soul, when you know everything, like absolute mind, body, and soul, that you deserve the best, that you can imagine, the universe, or the outside universe, also knows this and shows up with a clear message to align you with that path, which you follow because you resonate with clarity of knowing. So I've written that down on my phone. If anyone is trying to figure out if I'm reading it, I am. So it is something that they're really trying to get us to understand, that once our intuitive, our logical mind, our hearts, our souls, our bodies go, that's it, I deserve. It doesn't matter what it is. And you fill in that gap, ... I deserve ... And I am going to go that way no matter what, then the outside world starts to show you synchronicities and signs. They start to show up. And then you can follow those synchronicities and signs. You'll get to a point where the signs start to disappear because you are starting to believe this 100%. You don't need the signs. It's like the soul is helping your logical mind to become aware of the path to take. But then eventually the soul's like, okay, the logical mind should know enough by now. So it sort of lets go of the signs and it's asking you to still go in the same direction. Are you prepared to, or are you not in balance with your logical mind enough for you to keep going down that path? Also, at the same time, people will come and it's kind of like, it's not testing, but it's like, it's just natural, your normal day-to-day life. You'll have people that would go against the grain of what you're trying to achieve because they don't understand it. So they'll come up and go, really? You want to go down that path? When you know absolute, you just keep going. And then they're like, oh, whoa, they're actually making headways with this. So there's this absolute that's needed. It keeps bringing me back to when I first moved to Australia in 1998. I wrote a song called Absolute, and it was about taking all these different paths. Yeah, absolute is where it's at. So yeah, really interesting. We do need to do that. I didn't understand when I was actually channeling through the song, but now I understand totally. Hey, Mary, good to see you in the chat bar. Okay, the other message, which is quite a cool one that they brought up this week, excuse me, was frequency alignment of the original blueprint will always heal. I love this. So frequency alignment of the original blueprint will always heal. So when we do healing with resonance, with tuning, with sound vibration, with color therapy, with mandala, fractals, there is, when you have, it's really interesting what they're pulling through now. When you have an ailment within you where your cells have forgotten who they are, just like when you forget who you are and the magnificence of you, in reflection, your body starts to do that too. And then it forgets what it's supposed to do. If you can find the original vibration, sound, the original even mandala or sacred geometry, color can come into it as well, because it has a certain vibration with each color as it hits. Yeah, anyway, so that they're showing me that there's that all encompassing, but one of those will do. And then the therapy of that, aligned with the actual ailment, can give it a reminder of the cells and what its original blueprint was supposed to be in the beginning. And then it's like, oh, I remember this now. I remember how amazing I am. And it's really interesting that they're bringing this up now, because they're saying this is literally like they see each person, each human on Earth as a cell within a bigger body of Earth herself. And each of us are learning to remember who we are from a soul's perspective, not just a body's perspective. And then we start to resonate at certain frequencies, and that's where many of us come together in alignment, because we're at the same frequency when we are whole, so-called whole, and we remember what our actual mission is. We remember what gives us vibration or vibrancy to go ahead with the businesses that we want to create. And so we're starting to become the original blueprint of what we were born as a baby, without the blockages and so forth. Some babies are born with blockages that they still need to heal from lives gone by. So those babies will be remembering from before the life and life after life after life, caught in the wheel of blockage or not feeling whole within themselves. So, but if we just take it from a soul that's come in here fresh from higher dimensions, it's resonance that they will start to vibrate with. And this is found through love of self, because you can't, they're all encompassing, talking about the creation or the spark of life is love, which is creation itself, being in harmony with all. And that will bring you back to your original blueprint as well. So the more that we start to love or become in tune with and accept who we are, and then understanding that any blockages will show up so that we can navigate around them or past them, to say, I see that as a blockage within myself. I accept that within a blockage of myself. I now will see where I was lacking within myself so that I can move around it or through it or past it. And now I will always see that blockage stand out outside of me. So whenever someone comes up with that problem of that I used to react to with a blockage, I will now not, because I will see it stand out like a sore thumb sort of thing, and I will navigate away from it because I don't want to go back into having that blockage again. So you start to resonate with more, but they are also wanting to break it up. I mean, yes, love is all encompassing, they're saying, but they want to break it up to fractals of, especially they keep going to color, because they are talking about, they keep bringing up with me, and I do want to do a talk about this, but I don't have the full understanding or awareness of it yet, so I don't want to bring it up until I do, but I'll just touch on it. Something to do with there is no color. We are seeing things we are seeing light hitting objects at certain frequencies that produce the color through the program of ourselves, of our logical mind, and it means that we see color, but it's actually just black or white, and something to do with white being all of the colors mixed together that are in the etheric form or the etheric world, and black being all of the colors mixed together in the physical world. It's an invertation. There's something to do with that. But I see there's quite a bit there, and I don't want to really bring it out too much or go into it too much until I have, there's a piece of the puzzle I don't have yet. So I'll have to sit with that one and just feel into it, but I'll give that much to you. That's kind of what I've been given. It could go straight over your head. Doesn't matter. We'll just go with this, because there are people out there that these codes that I'm helping you guys with, you're specific to understanding that code even more. And then you can enlighten me and other people with more information as well sometimes. So, but it's not coming from the ego, it's coming from an absolute knowing, a frequency of, oh, this is something that I understand fully, and I will share that out to the world. So let's carry on though with these other channel messages. Told you, I think I've ramped up a bit with my channeling. It's going way up there. I hope you guys keep up. We'll ground it a bit with this next one. Okay. Hey, Sky, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon school. Don't forget, everyone, I have created a intuitive school on Patreon, and it's going to have has already quite a few games on it. You can join for free, and you can try the trial games out. There's free trial games. And then if it resonates, it's like $5 or $8. I don't know, probably in your country, $6 or $4 a month. to have a whole heap of games coming, intuitive games and stuff like that. We're going to bring in affirmations. We're going to bring in, we're bringing in past lives and you feeling into it. All things. It's like stepping into a Pleiadian classroom. So I'm really excited about this one. This one's really fun for me anyway. It definitely feels like my soul is on the right path. It's taking me a while to get what feels good for me to produce something for you guys, but also to support myself as well. And this feels really good. And I love creating the videos, so that's fun. Okay, away from that, let's get into this channel message about what the title is about, which is Hidden Truths Unshackled. So I channeled this through yesterday on the 21st of October. Actually, it's my father's birthday today on the 22nd, and we're right on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. So quite a big shift. I always feel like that shift from Libra, which is quite a balance, you know, seeking balance and all of that, and then going into Scorpio, which is more of a mystical and very self-determined sign. It's like quite a gap there, and interesting that my father's born right on the cusp of that. Okay, let's get into this. I will read this bit out and then we will channel some more, hoping that my team comes through with some more information. Okay, I just saw that Jeannie Jack Morgana channels the dragons, the rising rose. He channels the white and black dragons that represents that message about the colors. Oh, wow. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah. Okay. I won't look him up because I want to get a clear message for myself so that and hopefully it all matches with his, right? But I usually don't look up people unless my team really pulls me that way, because I like to have that clear message coming straight from my team. But anyone else that's out there that wants to have a look at that, that would be fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Much appreciated. Okay, this channel message. Sorry, guys, got distracted there. I just wanted to be really in the zone with this, and I saw that and thought I'll do that first so that I can be in the zone with this. Okay, so once empowered, humanity will awaken to the hidden truths that were kept behind shame and ignorance. Things will be seen for the truth that were hidden in plain sight and beyond the normal eye. Excuse me. Understandings of humanity's power to create will spark a new world and release the shackles of the limited old world. So many changes will bring more choices to expand one's true nature and free humanity again. So yeah, there's a few things that stood out there as I was talking, as I was reading that. One is the spark of a new world. And it's interesting that they use, I didn't even notice it when I was writing it down, but the spark of a new world is to do with, they're bringing me to, what is it? Sonoluminescence, when a sound will be produced in a flask of water and it will create a bubble, and then that bubble will expand into a light or a spark. It's like a star goes, and science doesn't know why, but I feel, well, my team is saying that it's because it's an inversion of this more dense material world, because there's material within everything, and it's like hit at such a frequency that it's flipped into a light. And that's where my youngest daughter, who was 3 when she told me this, she said, we are living in a place called Anion. And I looked it up because she said, you can look it up. You can look this one up. And Anion was resided in 2 dimensions in material and light, and it could flip from one to the other. And I do believe that we have this capability within our pineal gland when it's flooded with DMT. And so we then raise our awareness outside of the inverted practical playing field into a light expansion. And so when that happens, we are opening up vortexes of the unseen outside of us. And then we will start, those that are more in resonance with that which was hidden in a certain frequency outside of the limited consciousness of humanity, and humanity is only very limited because it's so unbalanced. Those that hold the resonance of those frequencies, in other words, their soul was maybe born straight from there, or their soul was born from there and life's gone by, so they still hold that understanding of that frequency, will see outside of them these portals where they can literally put their hand through space in the rock or whatever, or cave or whatever, and walk into other dimensional spaces that are here on earth. So that which was hidden will be seen, but also they are saying that it's hidden behind shame and ignorance, because we have been shamed, and we have been shamed by those, that want to keep us in the limited space so they can keep control of us, for being empowered and being able to see through the veil of just the limited physical world. So we need to embrace this within us first, because any sort of shame lowers your frequency, and you won't be able to enlighten us, saying that spark of consciousness. So yeah, that's really interesting too. They're taking me to water and under rivers as well, and that there's even those that could see will be taken into the waters and find different frequencies in there. They're also telling me that those that reside between worlds, as they move through this world, that's how they lift themselves out of the so-called matrix, because they can always be unseen by those that are, because they raise their vibration out of the frequency of the limitation of the unbalanced mind. So anyone that is in that world that was unbalanced, trying to find you or seek you or whatever, they can't see you anymore. You are beyond that in that moment. But also telling me to also be grounded, to be able to flip in and out, because there is a healing that's needing to take place in the physical realm. We're not here to leave this place and go into another dimension. We are here to infuse more love into the physical realm, so that we can have a bigger playing field in this physical realm to play with, where we create things with our hands physically and all that, and it's fun to do that. It's fun to actually draw pictures and stuff, and not just go into stillness of oneself and manifest that outside of us. In the higher frequencies, that's what you can do, and that's going to be a fun thing to do. It's like a new toy. When something comes up on like a new toy or something that comes out, and then everyone wants to buy it, and then a year later, we know all about that, and it's like we're a bit bored with that one, and it just sort of peters off, and it's not sold as much anymore, and that sort of thing. Same sort of value they're putting on. When we learn about these high frequencies, we're going to be so excited about them, but then we'll realize, we actually knew that before we were born. That's something that's been held within a humanity's consciousness, and then it's going to be, now we want to bring more into the physical world. So it's sort of like they want us to keep an understanding that they're showing me a figure of 8 going between the two worlds, or two existences, but you are safe then. You are safe because you've been able to raise your awareness out. Now, at first, it will be specific people that will be enlightened with this understanding, and they will then maybe carefully choose those that they want to bring through, yeah, and then they will awaken more and more and more, and the circle will become, like they show me, a spiral going out, or become bigger and bigger, where others will understand that there's something, their awareness becomes more than what it was in that limited, unbalanced consciousness. So yeah, interesting what they're bringing in through here. And just seeing what else is in this message. Things will be seen that for the truth that were hidden in plain sight. Yeah, and they're saying it's in plain sight because there is literally some places that tourists go to that, and they walk past a specific spot that is actually a frequency, if you align with it, that you can go through. There's like a portal there that you can move into, either communication with the rocks, those that are residing in those other frequencies, or yeah, it's getting quite deep, right? Quite magical, but so it can be actually right in front of you, and you don't see it because you're not aligning with it. And when you do align with it, you will probably notice that everything in this world will become, they're showing me, more sparkly, colorful. You'll see through the illusion that nothing is real. They're bringing me to when I went to Uluru now, so starting to make a bit more sense, the journey that I took to Uluru with David Icke. And I was dragged into the mountain by this guy, and we ended up having an experience when we put our hands on the inside the mountain, and then all of these stories that I had been given from Pleiades of what our new earth or humanity's potential could become rushed through me into the mountain, and it was like this big pulse heartbeat going through me. The guy beside me was like looking between the rock and going, oh my God, none of it's real. And that's what they're bringing me to. None of it's real, because everything is in alignment with energy. Nothing's real, but our logical mind is what makes it real. And so that's why we don't want to get rid of our logical mind and leave this plane of existence. We want to infuse more love into and put our logical mind back in its place as to what it's needing to do, so that we can love the experience again, and feel and move through our world through feeling, rather than through looking outside of ourselves and someone telling us how we have to act or where we have to go and that sort of thing. Yeah. So very cool. Jeannie, it will. That's the cool part of those of us that don't have our own channels quite open yet. I've also received similar knowledge as well. Color is big for me. Yeah, it is really interesting. They keep bringing it up for me as well. There's a split of color that only humans can see. And then if you go into the through the eyes of a beetle or fly or whatever, they see different. They see, like bees see, I think they see ultraviolet or something. They see different colors. And there's so many as many colors as there are going into the X-rays and the ultraviolets and all of that, as many colors as there are dimensions, and awarenesses, and expansion of oneself. We've been limited into the 7 spectral color zone, because of the limitation, had to be held bound so that we didn't escape into the other dimensions while we were out of balance. So this channel message is more for those that are moving into balance, into a balanced mind, and being able to then open up the doorway or the portals that exist into different realities through that balanced mind and coming back to the original blueprint of who they are. And that's pretty profound stuff, I know. But I think it needs to be spoken about at the moment, because there are those out there. And then at least even if I'm just giving confirmation to somebody out there and going, oh my God, now I get why I started to see things others couldn't see. And I know that story very well, because for the first 50 years of my life, I saw things that others couldn't see. My mum had the same gift. My daughter has the same gift. And it's like handed down in our DNA, where we're kind of open to being able to see more. But my mum shut it down because she was persecuted for it in different lives, where I've just come straight from another life, higher dimension from Pleiades. And so it's easier for me to keep that open with curiosity. And so I've seen and been given a lot of messages and seen a lot of beings, different beings. So I already know that they exist in these other realities. And they have given me foresight into things that my logical brain could not possibly know. So, and then when I turned 50, when it first started, really, I mean, it was always there for me, but when it really ramped up, a big X fell on me. And then when I turned 50, a big X fell on me, and it was like that one of the last real vivid things that I saw was somebody lying over me, and like they were that's the end, like this part of you is dying, because we are going to open up the capability for you to be able to channel messages, where before it was more visual, but it still exists within me. I can still see things, but it's just nowhere near as often as what it was for those, I think, from about the age of 20 to 50 was big time, huge. A lot of messages and understandings, and really keeping me on the edge of this reality I never felt like I quite got unstuck from being, I never felt insane or anything like that. I was always very grounded with it. Yeah, so now it's flipping me into being able to channel, so that I can just sit here and speak this wisdom out to you guys. But there are those that are out there that are going to awaken to the capability or the ability to see beyond their physical eye, see with their third eye, and into these different frequencies, which then they will see with their physical eye. I mean, I saw it with my physical eye. It wasn't like just in my mind or anything. I actually woke up and saw beings with my physical eyes. And also they're telling me now it's not just seeing, it's also those that have resonance of the voice. So certain voice frequencies can help awaken others. That now bringing me to the didgeridoo. And when I was with the elder, she's like, do you realize that didgeridoo can actually heal prostate cancer? And I'm like, oh my God, really? So it can actually, yeah, I've got to be careful of what I say on YouTube, just realized then. But in any case, so certain frequencies can do that. And so too can the voice. And that also bringing me to, sometimes there will be pods of people, they like calling groups of people coming together that are soul alignments that have frequencies of the voice that will, it can be a couple that are united, or it could be just groups. And when they come together and sing in a harmonic way, they're bringing me to when I went into another dimension, and when I was meditating and I went into this other frequency, it felt so real that I was in this other dimension. And when I was coming back to myself, I heard very externally outside myself choir of, it literally sounded like angels singing. like a choir of voices, and I realized it was multitude, collective of voices holding resonance for me to be able to go into this other dimension. And so when I was coming back to myself, my physical ears started to hear that frequency. And so when we sing or come together and chant, sometimes those voices coming together can awaken many, can open portals, like key. So interesting. They're showing me water, and for some reason they're showing me water bubbling with the actual frequency. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're taking me there, but there's something they're telling me. I wrote a book called Jonar and Kitty, the Timekeepers Void, and they're bringing me to the chapter where one of the person that was in another dimension, this main character, was following a panther into the water and ended up in another frequency where there was all these beings that could give more information. That's so interesting. Okay. So yeah, there's specific points on Earth that will become more enlightened to those that have the awareness or the capability to be able to open up to these portals. And they will see it differently. Just like when I used to see things, they will see things that maybe someone who is imbalanced just won't see. This is why some of us are more inclined to be able to capture UFOs, those that are coming through from other dimensional places. It will literally look really strange to the logical mind because it doesn't make sense how something can disappear and reappear and disappear and reappear, but they're showing me a atom that spins, and when it spins really, really fast, it'll pop out of our existence, but it's just out of our capability to be able to see it. Still exists in a higher vibe. And so if you went into that higher vibe, you would still see it spinning. And they're bringing me to the vibrational me. And then they're also saying that sometimes when those who are in higher frequencies wanted to communicate with humanity, there was a few times where they actually came across TV. TV was so-called held hostage by those of higher frequencies that wanted to pass through a message. And before it happened, there was a boo, 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 boo kind of thing. And then they came through with the message over the TV news. I think this was in Scotland or somewhere over in that area. I'm not sure. It could be just England. But anyway, there was a TV channel. I'll see if I can dig it up. It is on YouTube, by the way. I got shown that decades ago when they were trying to show, but they're bringing it to me now because they're saying when they actually leave, you could hear a boop, 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 like this kind of thing. I'm probably not saying it right, but it was a higher frequency that they ended up, that's what they were leaving on. They were leaving our frequency and then moving into their higher frequency. Same thing as when an atom spins in quantum physics and disappears, and it's still really there. So this is all proven stuff now through science, matching so-called spirituality. They're just saying, they're saying we have to be careful with words because some people even see spirituality as, or something that is ego-driven as well. This is something that's all resides within us, energetic fields. But there's lack of words to be able to be used as well in the English language. And the English language has really stopped a lot of understandings of more. So, for instance, in Russia, the word love is there's like 9 different loves, which means for different love meanings, right? I love my cat different than what I love my partner. I love I'm passionate and love my work for what I, do for eating and, eating this cake sort of thing. And they have different words for it, but it's just love in one word in English, and it limits and it confuses. But when we go into telepathy, we go even beyond that, because now we're going through feeling, and feeling has more understanding, because you can feel what that person's talking about. And then you're like, okay, that I won't mix that up with that feeling over there, because it isn't that feeling over there. So you could be saying the same word, but the feeling resonates with the actual experience that person is telepathically tuning with you. And so there is no deceit, lies, or anything. It just, lies don't even exist. It's just a matching of frequencies and an exchange of information. And that's why I've done the school as well, to get us into our intuitive minds. See what else is coming up. If anything else is coming up. Good to see everyone in the chat bar. Sasha, Nicole, Liz, Mona, Mary. I think I said Mary before. Good to see you guys. Yeah, if you have any questions about the topic, I don't mind looking into that. Let's see what else they bring up. Yeah, there are, just be aware, like I said at the beginning when I said I felt a bit nervous about today, which is really weird. As you expand into these other awarenesses, the vulnerability can feel a little daunting. And so if you do feel anxiousness or nervousness or whatever, just understand that, say to self, yeah, but I've just cleared and I've moved into a higher frequency and I've just got to get used to it. It's very much like stepping up into something new that you're not used to. Your logical brain has not been there before. It's not even been there. So this is what happens when we start to create a whole new path that humanity can go on. The logical mind hasn't been there, so it wants to shut it down. It's automatically starts to feel anxious because it's like, this is foreign to me. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense to the outer world, but I know I have to let it go, because otherwise I'll stay stuck in the same roundabout, going round back and forth in the same story over and over and over. Interesting. Yeah. Literally feel, yeah. It's when you start to accept that you will also see yourself from a different perspective. And then you will step into your leadership roles, or the mission that you wanted, or whatever that is. You'll start to step into that, and then that will become, slowly you'll get used to being that person. Like, you're literally moving, when you come into a whole self, from the logical point of view, which has only been trying to fit into the outside world, it will feel very foreign, and it will, yeah. So once it starts to accept, or you just go, shish, logical mind, I'm going to play this out and see where it goes, even though I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, there's something going on there too. I'm like in the mix of it. So I'm trying to feel into it a bit so I can give you guys some information of what's to come when you do start to take your empowerment back as well. And then you're not so, and go back again, fall back into the old pattern of, I can't do this is too hard. like ride through the anxiousness, ride through it, keep on saying, no, logical mind, you don't know all the answers, ride through it, the vulnerability, because on the other side you will be so pleased you did. Because then when the logical mind starts to come into play through repetition of just going over and saying, this is a new story we're creating here and an unknown aspect of myself, when intuition starts to take charge, feelings start to lead the way, your life will start to change. Everything will shift. All of your reality will start to shift, and then you becoming the central point of your existence starts to see the world shift as well. And you're becoming closer to source energy. And it will only bring you more happiness. It will only ground more abundance. It will give you more gifts. You will see more of who you truly are and the magnificence of yourself. You won't feel scared so much. The anxiousness will fall away because the logical mind has now found its place in retaining memory of this physical world so that we can play in it, and understanding it needs to stay strong in that, very strong in that, because we want to bring more love into this physical world. It's really, really cool what's coming through at the moment. Very cool. Yeah, it's one of those ones. I think this is going to be one of those messages where you're going to have to listen to it again. Even I'm going to, I think, listen to this one again too. Sometimes because I'm channeling, I feel it in the moment. When I listen to it, my logical brain goes, oh, yeah, I get it now. Okay. We are learning to ground this very unique part of humanity moving forward into unknown quantities. And it's exciting because that's where we meet the Pleiadians, the Lyrians, the serious people, the vegans, I was going to say vegans, and they were like vegans. So funny. Yeah, where we meet these higher dimensional beings that are literally, because they are in our star system, have always had a connection, even in the limited concept of humanity being kind of kept in that limited vortex. It's only given us a certain amount of stars that we can see, but there's actually going to be more stars that we will see pop into our awareness when we raise our vibration. But those that were already present have gone literally on a journey with us. Because we could see them, we are entangled with them. Because we are aware of them, and we're only aware of a few compared to trillions that are out there. Because we are aware of them, that's the reason why those souls from those could be born in humanity at this very moment, which is a pivotal point of humanity expanding their awareness and consciousness into a vast more area of grounding more love into the physical world, as well as opening up the vortex to their souls' journeys. So there's all of that happens between us. The stars that we see, we have been connected to. They might have been the observer in a lot of ways throughout the masculine takeover of humanity's consciousness, which humanity wanted to move into that reality to learn all about the physical world, so that we're literally opening up playgrounds for source energy as a soul, going through becoming part of being born into a body, wanting to experience. We're opening gateways and more for source energy to play in through doing this work. That's why they don't want us to just leave. It's taken us a long journey to actually become human in this body right here, right now. It's taken us a long time to be here, life after life after life. Yes, you'll feel like going home at certain points of this journey, because you feel the how beautiful it is again in those other realities. But it's more of you grounding more of that in this life and becoming that very strong, saying, this is who I am, this is what I will be. No matter who comes up to me, I am that. Yeah. And you will feel it when you're not, because you'll walk away from the person and go, oh my God, I pretended that I was somebody small to make them feel comfortable again. But that's not, you could do that if you felt it was going to help, but if it's actually repressing you again, it's not wise. Not at this stage. This stage is a stage of us grounding more of how awesome we are, the soul's understanding. Yeah. Okay, guys, I think I will leave it here. If there's no, I'll just read a little bit here. Sounds great from Mary. I see ships all the time. Wow, Mary, that's so cool. Also, there's been experiences where I've seen flashes of light in the forests and things like that. And that's literal beings flashing in and out of our reality that I'm seeing sparks of. So yeah, that's cool. We could call them elementals or the fairy folk or whatever, the forest folk, I don't know, but yeah, so that happens. Okay, Mona, how will we meet them? Will it be physically or in our dreams? Now, that's a good question. So it can start off in your dreams because they want you to start to get used to their frequency, and so it can come in dreams or meditation first, where you're just learning to get used to their frequency, and then ask the logical mind to just step back as you feel into that feeling over and over, even when you're awake. And then eventually it will become, you will start to align with their frequency, which will make it easier for them to show up, like actually come into your room and you'll wake up and see them. And that could happen just as you wake up because you're still in the alpha state awareness, which is connected to Mother Earth's vibration of much more expansion, and also to their frequency, so that you could wake up and see glimpses of them. And then eventually humanity, as we individually raise our consciousness or awareness, will have actual communication with them. Either we will, or our children's children and children's children will, but we are holding the codes for them to be awoken, for them to actually have a meetup. But I do believe that through this lifetime, at this moment, there are those that are already seeing and coming into actual physical contact with them. And that's why they like to just give us glimpses through UFOs and unusual things that make our logical mind become more aware of something outside of the normal contents of what we've been held in. So yeah, dreams are an important start, and you'll feel it too, because sometimes in dreams they will interrupt a dream, or you will feel it very, very real. When you wake up, you're like, whoa, that felt too real, that sort of thing can happen. They can actually ask you to, and you are always, the same, many of us are constantly and always astral traveling through our dreams, getting information from them, even having meetings and ships and everything from an astral travel point of view. And then we're awakening, but not remembering the whole thing or anything, or maybe just bits of it. That can happen as well. So you see, it depends if they want to talk to your soul or the whole of yourself. Yeah, so that's a little bit of channel information there. Thank you for that question. Nicole, it is a wonderful release to be vulnerable. Today you have demonstrated this. Thank you. Actually, I'm not feeling so it was really bizarre at the beginning. I was so nervous. I'm like, ooh, where's this coming from? It's not normal. But yeah. I think it is because I'm expanding into even more, and yeah, my empathy is becoming more feeling based, even more feeling based than before, which is going to help my channeling no end. Nicole says, do a little dance when you get off here. I'm doing a dance for you. High five. Thank you. I will do a little dance. Thank you. That's so cool. I love it how we're like all teams together, right? Building each other up. So beautiful. Okay. Hi, Margaret. Marguerite, good to see you. Okay. Is there anything else? High vibes. Dance your way through this world is a big thing that's coming up. Find unique ways to have fun. Don't limit yourself in your fun. The more you live in the moment, the more fun things will pop in your mind to do, and just go and do them, you know, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else. Obviously. Yeah, mind you, some people like to push themselves off friggin' mountains while paragliding, you know, that's me. You know, taking to extremes and stuff like that. Interesting. They're saying, do you know the reason why they do that is because they actually bring themselves into the moment. Yeah, that's so true. And I have had this message a while ago. Males like to drive fast, do things like surfing, because it really brings them into the moment, and then they're really fixed on that, and they don't have all the monkey mind going on in their head. So it gives them a kind of adrenaline rush of feeling at one with self. So very interesting there. But yeah, go dance and have fun with this world. That's a really big, profound message that I got in a dream from Mother Earth, to be able to raise that consciousness out of stop worrying about all of the hoo-ha that's wrong with this world. The more we focus on it, the more we give it attention, the more we bring it into our reality. We have to stop. Whatever we stop feeding attention to depletes. I literally put a post up about that. You know, how we put a post up on say Facebook or something like that, and it gets no traction, gets no likes, and it gets no whatever, and it just kind of disappears. Same goes for just your attention on anything. So whatever if you're saying, I don't like that, you're actually giving it attention, it fuels it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care if you hate them, so long as you give them attention, because you're still bringing them into your reality through fear and hate and all that. Just don't give them attention. And I've been given that message for years, and I still get caught into, I want to prove that they're wrong, you know. And so you get hooked into their limited space again of thinking, you know, of thinking if you actually add a comment to something that it's going to help many others, which it can. There is a certain threshold of awakening that it can, but they're saying right now it's best to not give it any attention whatsoever, as little as you can. It's not going to be possible to do completely because our environment is filled with all of this, but to shift ourselves out of this environment that's not really conducive for humanity's evolution, we do need to give it less and less and less attention. Let's put it that way. I still will get caught up every now and then on Facebook. You'll see me. So, anyways, hey Javier, good to see you super late at least. Hi. I was actually just about to say bye. But at least you got to the end. Good to see you anyway. You'll have to start this all over again. Really powerful messages again today. Okay. So love and light to you guys, and I will see you on Tuesday to have fun with tarot and see what tarot comes up with in my Pleiadian tribe and CYANIAN tribe. Maybe we should tap into the CYANIANS and see what messages they bring in through the tarot this week, because I think last week was the Pleiadians, where the CYANIANS are Pleiadians that are Blu-ray beings that are higher frequency, closer to source energy. They see things from a different perspective. They see things straight from source energy. We could do that. I'll see how we go, but maybe on Thursday we'll do that. Anyways, if anyone hasn't joined my Patreon, it is free to join and you can try some free trial games. Lots and lots of intuitive games. I'm going to do hundreds of them in the end. It's only just opened up a couple of weeks ago, so really impressed that I've already got paid Patreons already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, guys. Bye.